What's good, everyone? Today we are reviewing Knucks' album.
When Knucks and Nudes off come round, things turn up. Ain't no one around this thorough scholar. Get a couple pounds for your dollar.
Congratulations to Knucks. It's debuted at number 3 in the UK album charts and it deserves to be there. It is a high quality album. Knucks is one of those artists that's just becoming everyone's favourite artist. He kind of epitomises the UK chill rap genre. He's got his own style, he's got his own swag, he's got the grime influence with some US influence, and he's just doing something amazing. Alpha Place is dedicated to where he comes from, that's his block, and this is his story. We're gonna get into a track by track breakdown, his storytelling ability, the features, and we're also gonna be counteracting some of the criticisms of the album, plus offering some little room for improvement. The intro, Alpha House, now this is arguably my favorite song on the track. This is how you do an intro. I just love how it starts, listen. There's about 15 seconds at the start where all you can hear is just sounds. And these must be the sounds I can imagine that you'd hear on his block. You can hear kids playing, you can just hear general chitter chatter, some shouting, some noise, and then you hear a police siren come in. This is just normal noise. This is Knucks' story, this is where we are. We are in Alpha House at the very start of the album, you're hearing all this, and then soothingly comes in the piano and you start to hear the beauty of it. You listen for a bit longer and you start to hear the talent that is on these streets. That talent being Knucks. This just sounds like an intro as well, doesn't it? 40 seconds of music before we get to hear Knucks. That's just building this up for the start of the album.
I still come back to Alpha House.
Knucks spits for only 1 minute on this song. 1 minute! The scene is set, we know where we at, we start to hear the music fade in, then Knucks comes in, gives us a little story from when he was about 10 years old to now basically. Ends with, I still come back to Alpha House. We come back to Alpha House at the end. And then it goes into an outro, a bit of an interlude, loads of music. We hear trumpet solo, we hear that piano again. It's just beautiful to hear. It also kind of represents that as you go through the story of Alpha House, as you get through to where Knucks is now, there's just so much talent, so much music, so much joy, so much beautiful art going on all around him. And it's back again in Alpha House. The last bar in the intro is, I still come back to Alpha House. The first bar on the next song is, step off the block and I'm feeling nice. He's back on Alpha House, then he's stepping off the block, he's feeling himself, he's feeling nice having just come back. I love that little bit of synergy between the two. Song 2 features SL, Nice and Good. Collab I didn't know I wanted, but boy did it deliver. The two go kind of back to back, their tones, their flows are different but similar enough, work perfectly on this beat. I love this song. Now this song here is a bit of a flex song. Knucks has obviously grown up a bit, he's feeling himself, he's getting girls, he's getting money, he's got some street cred. And it's kind of a good link up with SL because they're both on a similar vibe in this one. They work together back to back really nicely. I couldn't have asked for anything more with this collab and this song. The song starts with that tired sounding saxophone thing. That's when we first hear No Days Off as well. Almost feels like you're waking up when you start this song. Kind of is that. Knucks ends the last song back at Alpha House. Then you kind of wake up at the start of this song and then he steps off the block feeling nice. There's a little synergy there, and I know it's not obvious, it might not even be intended, but I just like that little nod of a story being told, and that is essentially what Knucks is amazing at, telling stories.
When I got given the verdicts by the judge.
And the end of the song, the last 10 seconds, sounds like a conversation Knucks is having with a friend. It might even be SL talking about being sent to jail, and it's just a kind of a reminder of the realness of Knucks' growing up. Growing up in Alpha Place, your best friends, the people you're around, they get sent to jail. That's the reality for some people growing up in an estate in London. That sets us up for the next song, Hide and Seek, about the police. Now this song is another one of Knucks' amazing stories, telling the story of this guy, Kevin. Beat on this one's a little bit more serious. You can tell you're listening to a story. This is personal, it's emotional. You want to listen when you hear the beat. I just love the brutally honest nature of this song. I know you couldn't hide from me most of your lives and it's fine by me. If you do time for the rest of your life, no, it's fine by me. Same gameplay, hide and seek. It's basically cops and robbers. And we get it from Kevin's story and the police's story. It's a clever concept, really interesting. No one's really doing something like that. And it's again, great show of Knucks' storytelling ability and a great show of a story that happens in Alpha House. Something again, part of the estate. Track 4 is Knucks featuring Young's Teflon in Bible. Now again, this song makes a comparison from road life to the Bible. They basically explain their equivalents and the Bible's equivalents. Fish and bread, we eat Novikov instead. I quite like it. It puts a different twist on a lot of Bible references and Bible Bible teachings. Also kind of explains how people try and justify some of the badness as well. Young Teflon was one of Knucks' big inspirations, so I know he had something special when they worked together, and I really like this. I think Young Teflon killed his verse. He backed up what Knucks was saying. He gave his own way. It almost sounds like he was preaching at the start and justifying his own sins. But then he goes a bit deeper and says the reason why we do this, the reason why we sin, the reason why we're trying to justify it is because we feel pain, and also because they're neglected by a failed system. And when you really deep what he's saying as well, it's powerful. All this pain that I've been shown, all this pain's why I sin though. But this pain is a bingo, because it's a pain why I win though. Just take in Young Teflon's verse. Compared to the last beat, which was quite serious and intense, this one's a bit interesting. You know, the chorus is a bit catchy, it's a bit upbeat, but they're spitting some realness. Now the next song, Decisions, featuring Millions and Shay Universe. Okay, let's talk about the features first. Shay Universe did her thing, but I would have loved a verse from her. I'd have loved a bit more because, you know, you've got a great feature, someone that can add a lot to this song. Give her a verse, give her a little bit more than just repeating, you know, a couple lines. But she killed it, let's not get that twisted. Millions just does what Millions does. Now, I think Millions is one of the best drill rappers right now, and I think this verse is one of those things that show it. I don't think any of these other names in the drill scene could do something like this. That's just my opinion, but I think Millions 8. The message of this song is that it's very easy to have your morals and say don't do drugs or don't do this and that, but this kind of gives the context and the reality behind it. Saying it's very easy to say that, Shay Universe, no matter how tall you think you are, we're living in a small world. Millions coming in with, where's your credentials? It's a nice concept. I think again, the chronology, the timeline of the album, I think it works nicely. You know, we have Knucks growing up, we have Knucks feeling himself a bit. We then have some storytelling of cops and robbers and how this is just part of life. We then have a bit of a battle with religion, talking about the realness of what's going on and how we can try to justify it. Now here we have this sort of, I'm trying to do good, I'm trying to say the right thing and be the right thing, but it's difficult, and in a way I can't say that when there's the reality. I know the reality of what's going on. Kind of like Knucks treading water, he doesn't know where he's fitting in quite in his estate, in the society that he's in. Number 6, Leon the Professional. Now this song's been out for a while now, still love this one. Chill vibe, I don't even know what the sample's from, but he's got a nice sort of almost classical music sample going on in the background whilst telling the story of Leon the Professional, you know. Kind of matches professional, classical music, kind of makes sense. But Leon the Professional is a professional criminal. And at the start of this song, it sounds like Knucks is being told this story about Leon by some older on his estate, something like that. It fits on the album as a nice story about Alpha Place, showcases Knucks' storytelling, interesting choice of beat, and it works very well. Song 7, Send Nudes. Now I was so gassed when I first heard this and went, hang on a minute, that's the Gangsta Writers beat. Boy, I didn't even think Knucks on Gangsta Writers, but that works so well to me. I mean, it's a very short song, it's almost an interlude. And you know, it's Knucks and a girl, we're seeing kind of a new side to Knucks. But when you look at some of the lyrics, he's talking about Corona. Tell Miss Rona, end that soon, G. That's why I like when you send that to me, but you, I'm just trying to bend that booty. It's a girl song. I think it's about COVID, about not being able to do things physically, not being able to get intimate and have that kind of relationship, which kind of shows when he says, I quaff that kitten, you know. It's like, come on, man. And it kind of shows that sending nudes and, you know, an online relationship is all that we could kind of have for a few years. Yeah, a nice interlude, I guess. Track 8, Player, featuring Saint. I like Saint, I've heard a couple of songs, really like it. They've collabed before, but this was the song on Knucks' album. Knucks even said in the interview that he was amazed that he had inspired Saint. Saint said he was a big fan of Knucks. Now Knucks says here, what else are we gonna talk about? The government? So yeah, it's a girl song. It's bragging, it's about being a player, and you can't be fooling LOVE. Now Lockdown T said he expected more from the Saint feature, and I understand him actually. I think these two are kind of similar in what they're doing in the genre. There's not too many people like them, they're doing their own thing. And maybe we expected a bit more. If anything, it's almost too upbeat, we wanted more chill from them. I like the song, I like the chorus, I think it's quite catchy. Player, player. It kind of follows from the Send Nudes song, you know, he's now talking about girls, and now he can be a bit braggadocious, now he can have these relationships with girls and he can show off about it. I mean, he's a rapper at the end of the day, what else are they gonna do? Not my favourite song on that album, but I think it's valid, I think it still did its thing, and it flows nicely from the rest of the album as well. Now the next song, Far, featuring Rags Original. Knucks said himself this was one of his favourite songs on the album for a long time. I think it's an interesting collab. Knucks with Rags Original got an almost garage kind of feel to it. This is kind of Knucks' vibe. It's chill UK rap. And I think the beat of this one is just more relaxed, more chilled, more laid back. And I think part of that is the Rags Original collab. And yeah, I think they work together really well. Probably not my favourite song on the album, but it works. On to the next one, Die Hard featuring Stormzy. First 10 seconds of this, you can hear a bass, you can hear something really deep, and it almost sounds like Jaws music. You know you're coming for a big collab. We got Stormzy on this one. Now this song's kind of about them taking their careers to the next level, taking risks in order to do that. Knucks goes from, I was trying to buy an eighth, now I pray to God that I'm in the right lane. I ain't trying to die hard, I'm trying to die great. He's sort of comparing where he could have gone, he's on this lane now, and he's trying to just go further and further. Whether this was always the message of the song, or whether he thought, I've got Stormzy on here, this is in a way him leveling up his career, getting one of the biggest artists in the UK on this song, and so he's going to talk about leveling up his career. He did say that Stormzy had wanted to work with him, and when there was something that they could work on, send it to him. And this wasn't done in the studio together. Stormzy sent his verse, which surprises me because there's very good chemistry on the song, and normally that doesn't quite happen when features happen like that. Normally those are kind of just money features on a pop song or something like that. And Stormzy comes in different. And you know, this is kind of what we expect from Stormzy. He's got money now. They be Big Mike, but they stay lean. They can't be big and lean at the same time. They can't be Big Mike. Put the culture on my chest and push the weight clean. The whole culture is just on his chest, on the bench press, pushes that weight clean. Big levels for a man to say he can just carry the culture clean while staying lean and being Big Mike at the same time. Then he says, kind of funny that my streaming ain't my mainstream. Stormzy does millions and millions and millions of streams, and that's not even his main stream of income. He's a businessman, yo. He's a businessman. I reckon me and Kanye got the same dream. Like, yeah, Stormzy, I don't think it's spoken about enough how hard Stormzy went on this. Relaxed, laid back verse, spitting things that we can only wish we can relate to. And Checkmate is probably my favourite song on this project. It's about suffering and the mental effects of success, and how Knucks is maybe in a different lane now, but he's battling depression at the same time. No one ever checks on him. He's spitting some real stuff about mental health, which not enough UK rappers are talking about. Having spoken about girls for quite a bit, bragging a little bit, we're now uncovering the layers as we get further into the album and we get into the deep stuff. Seeing what kind of place Alpha House is throughout the album makes sense why you might also have some trauma you're dealing with too. Also some nice wordplay here. Checkmate, obviously check a mate, check your friends, check your mates. But he also plays that with chess. Checkmate, the moving chess. He has some wordplay that kind of flows throughout the song. Just realised as well, he said Annie was originally meant to be on this song, but she wasn't feeling it. But he hit up Lexa Moore instead, who they just work together like family, he said. And yeah, you can tell in this song. And I think because it's such a personal song, it needs to have that good chemistry there. And I'm glad it did. Really like this song, and I really want more rappers to talk about this kind of stuff. Now, track 12, Three Musketeers. This is a really powerful story. It kind of reminds me of Blue Story, about how your best friends, you're really good friends from young, but because you're from different areas that might have beef, that can affect your friendship with your friends. Doesn't make sense, but it's the way that it is. Knucks also opens up about this year he was sent to Nigeria to go to boarding school. I think when he was in year 8. He speaks a little bit about how that made him feel, how he felt so lonely at the airport, he just wanted his mum, and how all his memories before that are fond ones, and then after that everything was different. One of his friends got sent to jail, one of his friend's cousins died, and that was like his best friend. It's just another story of the brutality of London and growing up in the streets. It's powerful and it's a strong end to the album. And at the end we hear some clips of him and his friends showing that despite all of this, they're still friends, and they managed to, you know, that bond, the Three Musketeers, Knuckles, Sonic and Tails. Okay, so I was right at the very end of the video yesterday and my camera decided to die. So hopefully that wrapped up the album track by track, and then now I'm just going to talk over some talking points on the album. So first of all, I've said it quite a lot, I love the chronology. This is how an album should be, how the songs kind of follow one to the other, and kind of from the start to end it tells a story with the more powerful stuff coming at the end too. Number 2, the storytelling ability. Now, I don't know if this is what makes Knucks so special. It's kind of the way he can tell a story matching with his sound which makes him so special. And it's a rare talent. Lots of rappers try and tell stories and quite often we forget about it. I wouldn't go as far as saying Knucks is the best storyteller, but he's definitely up there. Number 3, the main criticism of this album is that it all sounds the same, people say. 1, I don't think it does. 2, it's got a sound. Most albums do have a specific kind of sound. The thing everyone loves most about Knucks is that there's no one quite like him. He's very different. So of course all his songs are gonna have a kind of sound that is different to everyone else, but also similar to Knucks, because that's Knucks' sound. So yes, maybe if you've never heard Knucks before, if you weren't listening, you were just sort of hearing the album, then it might overlap a little bit. But I don't think it sounds the same. I also don't think we want to hear a drill song, then a pop song, then a deep song, like some albums are these days. I'm glad there's a chronology and the sound is kind of similar, which helps the album flow. And whatever these sounds are that's curated, there's a lot of sort of trumpets or I don't know what instrument it is, but a lot of that and piano, as well as, you know, it's not just these classic drill, grime, whatever UK rap beats. Is quite different, it's quite musical. And obviously Knucks thinks that's important in making the sound of Alpha House, Alpha Place. My main criticism is that I think Knucks has a banger in him. Kind of similar to Nines in that he has a naturally kind of relaxed, soft style. But Nines has songs like See You Shining or NIC. I would love a kind of song like that, you know, a sort of summer anthem, a song that can make everyone's playlists automatically. I think that would give the album a little more energy, a little lift. It'll give Knucks some more fame and more money. The features, I think, pretty spot on. They worked on the songs that they were on and they all did their thing. Going back to my banger point of view, he had Stormzy in a song, and now I love that song and I love what Stormzy did. Maybe he could have pushed that feature a bit more. Maybe he could have gotten more from Stormzy to elevate his name a bit more. But he stayed true to the art, he stayed true to the music, and I think the song sounds sick. So not a complaint there, really. And yeah, that is all of my notes. Look, it's Knucks' first big album, you know. He's got plenty more in him, and I think he's only going to get better. I think this is a really great first album. Number 3 is a massive achievement. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this style of content. I want to be reviewing and breaking down projects regularly. Let me know if you like that and what projects you want me to see break down next. Until then, it's been your boy BTB Max. Please like, subscribe, and comment as well. And I'll see you next time. Peace.